Hello everyone and welcome to Barca News. It's October 7th, 2022 and Barcelona are contemplating signing Inigo Martinez from Athletic de Bilbao given all the injuries that the Barcelona center backs are currently suffering from. Also, Joan Laporta is reportedly planning to send a message to UEFA's president in regards to the terrible refereeing in the Champions League match against Inter Milan. And Barcelona's Vice President of Finance, Eduard Romeu, has released the balance sheet for the 2021-2022 financial year. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, we begin with the news that the team are currently preparing for their next La Liga match against Celta Vigo that will take place on Sunday, October 9th. And Xavi has called up on 6 Barca Athletic players to train with the first team. And those players are Marc Casado, Shadi Riyad, Tuxus Alba, Victor Barbera, Pelayo Fernandez, and Roman Vega. Now, Marc Casado has already formed part of the first team for the last 2 matches against Inter Milan and Real Mallorca, given that the player can play in the right back position since Héctor Bellerín is currently injured and Sergio Roberto has just returned from injury, and both Jules Koundé and Ronald Araujo, who can also play in the right back position, are also on the injury list. Now, Xavi has called up on Shadi Riyad, who's the Barca Athletic center back and who has a lot of promise, given that Barcelona currently only have 2 healthy center backs, which are Eric Garcia and Gerard Piqué. Now, it's no surprise that Xavi has called up on Victor Barbera, the forward who just scored a hat-trick against Bayern Munich in the Youth UEFA Champions League. Now, speaking of Barcelona's injured center backs, the club are reportedly contemplating signing Inigo Martinez from Athletic de Bilbao. Now, over the summer, it was reported that Barcelona had reached an agreement with Inigo Martinez to bring him to the club in the summer of 2023, given that his contract will expire with Athletic de Bilbao. Now, it was also reported later on that Barcelona had contemplated signing Inigo Martinez this past summer, given that they weren't sure whether the Jules Koundé transfer was going to be finalized. But it was later reported that Barcelona had not reached an agreement with Inigo Martinez, and of course they didn't sign him over the summer either. But it's now being reported that Barcelona are contemplating signing Inigo Martinez in the winter transfer market, given all the injured center backs that they currently have. Now, Inigo Martinez is a 31-year-old center back and he currently has a market value of 22 million euros, and he has also been suffering from a lot of injuries in the previous months. Therefore, I hope that this report is not true, because it wouldn't make sense for Barcelona to spend that much money on a center back that's already 31 years old and has already a lot of injuries. And I believe that the right solution would be to look at the academy and look at Barca Athletic, especially Shadi Riyad, who's been doing a fantastic job as a center back for the Barca Athletic team. And he's only 19 years old, so he can be a more of a long-term solution rather than having to sign Inigo Martinez and then having to worry about signing a new center back in 2 or 3 more years. Now, before we continue with the news, if you're currently enjoying the content of this video, please consider subscribing to the channel and giving this video a like. Not only is it free to do, but you would be helping the small and humble channel continue to grow. Now, with YouTube's latest update to their algorithm, giving a like to a video goes a long way in YouTube recommending this video to others and therefore increasing the reach of the small and humble channel. Now, on to the news that the match between Barcelona and Inter Milan that will take place at the Spotify Camp Nou on Wednesday, October 12th has sold out. Now, Barcelona is going to have to win this match against Inter Milan, and they're going to have to do it by more than 1 goal in order to increase their chances of qualifying to the next round. Now, having the Spotify Camp Nou full of Barcelona supporters will hopefully boost Barcelona's morale and chances to accomplish that objective. Now, speaking of the match between Barcelona and Inter Milan, as I reported in yesterday's video, which I will leave the link for down below in the description in case you want to check it out, Barcelona had initially contemplated filing an official complaint with UEFA in regards to the terrible refereeing that happened between Barcelona and Inter Milan, where Barcelona were robbed of a victory and 3 crucial points that could have helped the team qualify to the next round. Where after internal debate, the club decided not to file an official complaint with UEFA, and it's now being reported that Joan Laporta is considering sending a message to UEFA's president, Alexander Seferin, to let him know the club's discontent with the refereeing that happened in that match, especially with the Dutch VAR referee Paul van Boekel. Now, Paul van Boekel was the VAR referee that ruled that Inter Milan's defenders Denzel Dumfries' clear handball in the penalty box was not a penalty, And he's the same VAR referee that ruled that Alphonso Davies' foul over Ousmane Dembélé inside the penalty box in the Bayern Munich match was also not a penalty. Now, curiously enough, Paul Van Boekel was the referee assigned to the Roma versus Real Betis match in the Europa League, and he awarded Roma a penalty call for the same exact play that happened in the Inter Milan and Barcelona match, where Real Betis defender cleared the ball with his hand inside the penalty box. Now, this goes to show that his decision making absolutely makes no sense, where he didn't award a penalty to Barcelona, but he did award a penalty to Roma for the same exact play, and this only adds more to the controversy. Now, on to the news that Barcelona's vice president Eduard Romeu has released a 2021-2022 balance sheet that the club will present to its members on Sunday, October 9th. Now, Barcelona projected a revenue of 765 million euros with an expenditure of 784 million euros. However, the actual revenues for the 2021-2022 year were 750 million euros with an expenditure of 856 million euros. Now, Barcelona activated the first economic lever during the 2021-2022 financial year, where they sold 10% of Barca media rights for 25 years to the investment firm Sixth Street in exchange for 267 million euros, which then increased the club's revenues, ending the year with a 98 million euro profit. Now, the club hoped to bring down the salary bill during that year to 470 million euros. However, they were not able to do that, given that many of the planned exits did not materialize, and as a result, the salary wage bill remained at 580 million euros. However, that is 100 million euros less than the previous year, when the salary bill was 617 million euros. Now, this is a big testament to the great job that Joan Laporta and his board of directors are currently doing in trying to salvage in the club's financial situation from all the damage that the previous president Josep Maria Bartomeu did. Now, Barcelona's vice president Eduard Romeu made it clear that the club are in much better financial condition than before, and they have staved off bankruptcy. However, the club is not fully financially healthy. They're not at a 100% yet, and they estimate it's going to take 4 or 5 years until the club gets back to the stage prior to all the destruction that we saw at the hands of Josep Maria Bartomeu. Now, on to the news that we now know why Samuel Umtiti has not featured for a single minute with his new team. Now, Umtiti is currently on a 1-year loan with the newly promoted Italian club Lecce, and he has yet to play a single minute with that team. Now, this had originally sounded the alarms in Barcelona, because they were worried that Samuel Umtiti was injured or he could not perform physically, and they were hoping that Samuel Umtiti could perform well during the season with his new team in order to increase his market value so the club could permanently transfer him next summer. Well, it seems that Samuel Umtiti had requested from his new club a period of adaptation where he wants to train hard to try to recuperate some of his form, and it seems that Lecce agreed to this request, and it's also reported that both the player and the club are content with each other. Now, this is great news, because hopefully Samuel Umtiti will be able to recover some of that form, because not only will it be beneficial for Barcelona because they would be able to offload him permanently next summer, but it would also be beneficial for the player, who at some point was one of the best center backs in the world, but unfortunately after his knee injury in 2018, his career has taken a nosedive. Now, on to the news that N'Golo Kante has completely closed the door on any possibility of him joining Barcelona. Now, Kante's contract with Chelsea will expire in the summer of 2023, and as a result, there were some reports over the past month that Barcelona were eyeing the French midfielder and hoping that they could sign him in the future. While N'Golo Kante's entourage has reported that the player does not want to leave England and he prefers to stay in London. So even if the player cannot renew his contract with Chelsea, he's going to look to sign with another club, and that club is going to be in the Premier League, because he doesn't want to leave England and he doesn't want to go to other leagues as well. So it seems that any possibility of N'Golo Kante coming to Barcelona will not be possible, given that the player wants to remain in England, preferably in London, and he doesn't want to go to any other leagues. Now, on to the news that Milan Pjanic has made some very interesting statements, and he has spoken about his time at Barcelona. Now, Pjanic said that when he first arrived and he began to train against Ronald Koeman, he was very surprised because the trainings were very short and the intensity was very low. He also said that when Xavi took over the team, that the trainings completely changed and the team began to train with more intensity and the training became more difficult. Now, I'm not very surprised at the statements that Milan Pjanic has made, because it was very evident that the team was not training hard under Ronald Koeman, because when they started the matches, they did so with a lot of energy and a lot of intensity, but as the minutes went by, the team would get more and more tired, and by the end of the match, the team would have no energy, and that's when the opposing teams would score in Barcelona and sometimes even win the matches. Now, we will end today's video with the news that Martin Braithwaite has spoken about his time in Barcelona, and he said that he knew when his time was up, and that is why he decided to leave. Now, Martin Braithwaite said, "It was something obvious. After my injury, I wasn't playing or getting minutes with the team. I didn't need to hear from anyone. It was just a natural thing, an unspoken agreement that I had to look for something else. But I'm a positive person and I'm in a good position at Espanyol." Now, Martin Braithwaite seems to hint that he did not need Xavi to tell him that he didn't count on him and that he needed to look for another club, that Martin Braithwaite knew when his time was up, and that is why he decided to leave. Now, this is kind of funny to me, because that is not what it seemed like over the summer transfer market, where Barcelona brought Martin Braithwaite several offers from different teams and different clubs, and Martin Braithwaite continued to reject every single offer, and he maintained in the media that he didn't want to leave Barcelona and he was happy at the club and that he believed that he could earn a spot on the first team. Now, Martin Braithwaite did say that he had good times at Barcelona, and when he was asked about what it was like joining Barcelona's arch rival, he said, "I didn't think much about it. It's part of football. It's a funny thing for people outside, but for me, it was about making the best decision for me. I'm happy to be in a team where I can feel useful and important. I'm in the process of adapting to my new teammates and giving what the coach is looking for. It's important to think game by game." Now, Martin Braithwaite also spoke about how joining Barcelona changed his life and his career, and he added, "Of course, it was a change. When you play for a team like Barcelona, there's a big change in the impact. There's a lot of media, but it's something I got used to. Now at Espanyol, I feel I'm getting back to my best. I'm in a great moment of form and I want to continue like this." So that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a like. Also, I would like to invite all of you to please leave a comment down below, giving me all your thoughts and opinions about all the news that I share with you. And finally, I would like to invite all of you to please subscribe to the channel so you can stay current on all the latest news in regards to our beloved club, FC Barcelona. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video, and as always, Visca Barça.